I think we have another question here at the door.
Yes, just today I was getting a haircut and I saw the Officer of the Year parked over here, and he had 8 kids, maybe 10 to 12 years around the car. He had the lights going on and he was engaged in a real positive conversation, and that's the kind of things that we really need around here. So I really commend you on getting that going. My question is, there's a lot of cooperation between Port Hueneme and the City of Oxnard's police departments. Could you talk a little bit about that and how it benefits us to have a close working relationship?
So to give you an example, what's nice about where I came from is I understand how the City of Oxnard works in their police department, and I can take advantage of some of the resources they have. To give you an example is their DUI checkpoints. They have an Office of Traffic Safety grant where they have to enact a certain amount of checkpoints in the City of Oxnard. Well, I've already asked them, hey, I'd like some of those checkpoints along the same streets that we share. There's an example. They have message board trailers that they can loan us. They can provide us additional enforcement when we need that enforcement here. They have several programs, youth programs, that I plan on emulating and bringing over here to this community. So those are some of the things that Oxnard offers us that we can take advantage of. They are more than willing to help, and what's nice about the relationship that I have with them is that they're more than willing to give us anything we need to make our community a safer place, because they know that in essence it's going to end up helping them as well.
We have a couple questions on this side.
The area where Ross is, in the Century 21 over on Channel have been having an ongoing problem with people who don't have roofs over their heads, sleeping on the street, and being and it seems to have escalated more since the growth of the Oxnard area, which is really nice for us of Oxnard area, but I'm constantly, when I'm out there talking to the business people on that strip, are you planning or had thought about doing some sort of a task force, or what are your plans to put roofs over these guys' heads?
Sure, that's actually a good question. That actually goes back to what Steve just asked in terms of what are some of the resources that Oxnard has. And they have a homeless liaison officer that is actually, all he does is deal with the homeless. Well, we've already been working with him to deal with our homeless issue and providing our homeless with the resources that they need to put roofs over their head. Unfortunately, there are some homeless that just don't want help.
Right.
They enjoy living on the streets and just doing what they do.
Is there like a hotline number or a special number that businesses can call when they, or is it just a general 911 that would go to you?
You can call the non-emergency number, and we're still going to send an officer out. It's just not considered an emergency. But we'll get out there, see what the problem is, and we would actually call in someone to assist us.
I'm going to put one of our guests on the spot if he doesn't mind. Larry, being Larry Goldstein, everyone, who is the property manager for the 99 Cent Center. As a property owner, let's say I'm the tenant of a store there, and I'm just the tenant. Do I have equal weight as or no, because I'm not the I don't. So as a tenant, my hands are tied.
What I did today was give the department an authorization to remove homeless people or anyone causing a problem at the shopping center. And that has to be removed monthly.
Monthly?
Monthly, so it's a hassle.
Is that a city ordinance that says it has to be monthly?
Well, it's one of the rules, I guess.
It's one of the rules enacted by the district attorney's office in terms of dealing with trespassers and people interfering with the public's right of way. So it needs to be renewed every 30 days to make sure that the property management still wants to pursue that particular individual.
Okay, so it's an individual, it's not a blanket.
Right.
Correct.
Okay, that's I didn't know that.
As a former office manager of a business in the city, I've always been very, very happy with the service we've gotten from the police department. But what exactly are the rights of office managers, business managers, and business owners who are tenants of building owners that are not the owners of the building? What rights do they have to evacuate homeless people? Do we have any rights at all, or is it better to just call the police and let them deal with it?
There's nothing wrong with making an actual verbal request to the homeless person, but I'd prefer you not have any type of interaction because you don't know what type of problems, ailments, mental issues they're dealing with, and I've seen many times where people have attempted to make contact and it's gone bad. So with the police department, as we have in our response times, we'll go out and handle it for you as quickly as possible. So right now I would recommend that you call us and let us address the issue. And it could be someone who we've contacted before, we understand what the issues are, and we can attempt to at least give them the resources they need and have them moving on so they're not becoming a problem for you.
I just want to say we appreciate the police department. We work at Whiting Christian School, which is right down the course, so we're right across the street. And that's one thing we tell the parents, you know what? You can bring your child here. And the police are right across the street. Now tell us, like, all I have to do, if there's somebody hanging around, I call, and there's somebody out here. They walk across, take care of the problem for us all the time. And I live in Oxnard, and we had a guy running down our street with a gun, shooting. And it took 45 minutes for the police to show up. I was like, so it's not Port Hueneme.
Yeah. So while there are drawbacks to being a small city in some regards, there are benefits, and having a police force that can respond. I've had to call, and yes, they are there quicker than I would have ever expected
I
them
just
to.
want to say, like, whenever I call you guys are here right away. You guys take care of the problem, so I have nothing bad to say about that. So usually you get a drunk person or somebody that is inside and doesn't want to leave.
So I would say about 90% of the time, you will get a police officer to respond to your location in just about less than 10 minutes, regardless of what the issue is, whether it be your car has been burglarized, or it be a transient, or someone has just been shot. As opposed to the adjacent city where I came from, they can wait hours. And so that's when I say public service is a priority here, because you will get an officer rather quickly when you call here in the city of Port Hueneme.
I've had a lot of people respond to me in the where I live that the response time is normally 3 to 4 minutes when the police are there. And somebody mentioned what the response time is, if it's the county or it would be the Oxnard Police, is probably a minimum of 45 minutes. So,
Oh my.
yeah, it's a fabulous thing that they do.
Yeah.
Please, more questions?
It's a curiosity more than a question. How many officers do you have on staff?
So including me, we have a total of 23. So at peak, I think we had up to 25 officers on the department. Due to budget cutbacks over the last couple of years, we're down to 23 right now.
For the entire city?
For the entire city, and I have 10 civilian staff. So we have a total of 33 full-time employees. Now, we do supplement quite a bit with reserve officers. So we give the illusion that we have more officers, but when we actually have a reserve contingency of, I want to say 7 to 8 reserve officers that help us on the weekends, that come out and help us with details. I mean, like for instance, the detail we had at Channel Lines High School, Hueneme High School, we had a reserve officer there with us to help staff that. The Strawberry Festival, where the Explorers were at this weekend, we had a reserve officer there to help them that. So they're required to give at least 2 shifts a month with our agency, and so you'll see them out there nightly helping us.
Do you ever cross with the Oxnard PD, call some of your friends and say, hey, help?
Absolutely, it actually happens all the time. To give you an example, is the city of Oxnard, as you all know, is experiencing a rash of violent crime, especially in the south end of Oxnard, and we've been very fortunate that it hasn't kind of seeped over to our end, and so they called us and asked for assistance to help them. So on Saturday and Sunday, we actually deployed a 2-man unit from the city of Port Hueneme to help patrol in the south end of Oxnard, because I know they would in turn return that favor if we ever experienced such a thing in our city.
And that's a partnership that's been around for many, many years. I mean, just because we are so close, there aren't the vast plain spaces like there are between Oxnard and Camarillo or Oxnard and Ventura, you know, where sheriff might help out. You know, we do have that partnership, and it's a good thing to have that. I'm gonna go in the back since you've had your hand up.
Thank you. My name is John. I had a question. Is there curfew hours for juveniles here? in the city of Fort Wayne? And also, is there quiet hours for like weekends for when people party? So you know the time after a certain hours, well, it should be quiet versus no one knows, so why call if they're not violating the law?
So, I know in the city of Oxnard, there's a 10 o'clock curfew. I don't know about the city of Port Hueneme ordinance, but in terms of loud parties, what people don't know is there's not a necessarily, it doesn't have to be 10 o'clock. If it's disturbing your peace, you can call the police department whenever you want to. It could be at 8 in the morning, it could be at 6 in the evening. If you want to call and file a complaint and it's disturbing your peace, we will go out there and attempt to remedy the situation. So it doesn't have to be 10 o'clock. So we actually carry digital recorders with us. And if you don't know, every time you come in contact with a police officer, you're being recorded digitally. In terms of body-worn cameras, right now due to budget issues, right now that's not the right prescription for our city. And so that's something that we'll be looking at in terms of in the near future. Other things such as crime mapping, that is something that I want to bring to our police department and to our city. So you can go online, type in your neighborhood or your address and actually see what crime is around your neighborhood. And so as technology evolves and as we get a little bit more money into our budget and kind of recovers the city, we're going to be able to put some money into that so that anyone can go online and actually see what crime has occurred in their neighborhood, ranging from narcotic violations all the way to arrests, to whether or not the car was broken down your street a couple of nights ago. So Oxnard has that right now. It's called crimemapping.com, and so that's something that I plan on bringing here so you know exactly what's going on in your community, and it's posted and updated every 24 hours.
Can I ask one more question? I'm sorry, but it's back to the fireworks. Are they legal or illegal?
They are illegal in every city in the county of Ventura except for the city of Fillmore. So the city of Fillmore is allowed to sell them, and that's the only location you're allowed to actually have fireworks, is in the city of Fillmore.
So they can buy it there and then do it.
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
This is kind of going back to what you were talking about, the homeless people. Is it legal for people to camp on the beach and have bonfires?
No.
Okay, I didn't think it was, but I've been out there quite often and I've seen people doing this, and I understand people wanting a bonfire with their family and all, but the camping part, I just kind of was like.
Yes, it is hit or miss. So sometimes we'll drive by, and they know when we drive by, they'll go and they have their special spots that they go hide, and certain officers drive through the parking lots but can't quite see what's out there. Something that we've done to help remedy that situation, we just purchased a beach vehicle, and so it allows us to actually drive on the beach with a two-man vehicle to go find those little nooks and crannies where they like to hide out, especially late at night. And we actually just made that purchase, so by the 4th of July it'll be deployed, and from there on out. So that'll be something that'll actually help us deal with some of the homeless issue or encampments out on the beach, especially during the summertime, because it's so nice to be out on the beach during the summer. Yes, sir.
I need to move on. And I'm sorry I'm not properly attired. I tell you what, you got our votes. And actually, this is the guy, our city manager, Rod Butler, is responsible for hiring you, and God bless you. You've got our, we're going to cover your back. I am so impressed with what you're saying and what you're doing. Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much,
And
sir.
Jessica, give me a hug. Thank you for sponsoring this whole thing. I gotta leave. Thank you so much. Carry on.
Thank you, Mayor Fig.
Very much. And so just a couple final comments on my end here is, I encourage you to call, because if we don't know about it, we can't respond to it or we can't act on it, whether it be a non-emergency or not. In terms of us as a police department, something I've told my officers is I'm not looking for a revolution, I'm looking for an evolution. And so we're gonna work through it and evolve and become a better police department. And I encourage everyone to follow us on Facebook. You want to know what we're doing? That's what we're using right now as our social media platform to get the word out. Like this past weekend, we helped install smoke alarms. I'm about to post something on Facebook tonight. If you guys didn't know, we do vacation checks. So if you leave for a small period of time or a long period of time, your local police department will come and check up on your house. Not many people know that. So that's the type of information I'm attempting to put out on social media so the entire community knows and takes advantages of the services that we provide as an agency. So,
What's your page?
what was that?
What's the page, your Facebook page?
Facebook, Port Hueneme Police. Just type in Port Hueneme Police. We have 900 followers now. I'm almost caught up to the city. They have about 1,150. So I'm almost there.
What about next door neighbor
Nextdoor.com.
or next door?
That's the next social media platform I'm going to take advantage of, and I'll be getting information out that way as well.
Thank you all again for coming tonight. Please, I encourage you to hang around, meet your neighbors, meet your business owners, and have a blessed Hueneme night.
Thank you.